Welcome back, True Seeker. As the stream launches, there's 15 of you in the room. Thanks for being here before we started. 10 likes, 10 out of the 15 already hit the like. I do appreciate it. Again, if you hit those likes early, it's more likely for this stream to reach new people. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this information out to more people. It's been deleted, it's been censored, it's been shadow banned. And without your help, it is very hard to reach a new audience. Again, I get my analytics every month, and I see a flat line of new people. I do see a few comments a month from people who are new and appreciate it. So we are reaching a few new people a month from what I can gather from the comments, but it's not like it used to be. 8 years ago, it was easy to reach a whole bunch of new people with every single video made. Of course, YouTube has changed a lot. I almost think YouTube should create a section. If you're a YouTube content creator, you know how you have the drop-down menu. Is your thing about art? Is it about sports? Is it about entertainment? Is it comedy? Is it news and politics, et cetera, et cetera? I almost feel like YouTube should just create a category called conspiracy. They've wanted to... It's kind of weird that YouTube wanted to eliminate conspiracy from their platform, and that's why they've curbed it in the algorithm, because it was the thing that drove YouTube viewership in the early years of its existence. Of course, when YouTube started, it wasn't owned by Google. But I really do think they should create a conspiracy category and just let it be. Not do what they do, take away comments and likes and, delete, suppress. Just let people go and search in that category. And when people sign up for YouTube, if people are into conspiracy, they can click that right when they sign up. That's the kind of stuff I'm into, conspiracy. And granted, there's a lot of dumb information in the realm of conspiracy, but conspiracy is a very real thing. People conspire every day to take advantage of others. This idea in America that's been disseminated by mainstream media and the government that everything's a conspiracy theory and that's nonsense. And it's like, no, conspiracy is a very real thing. Conspiracies are used to manipulate groups of people. And again, the world's full of it. So, and I don't feel like what I do is conspiracy theory. I feel like it's undeniable conspiracy fact. And it is quite depressing that more people don't care. And we're going to talk about a lot of things, but let's just start right here. Former Super Bowl champion, dead at 38. He was in Super Bowl 52. For those of you guys who've been around, the day. It was September 23rd, 2017. That's what year it was. Sweet lady wasn't even in grad school yet. I remember where we were the day I made the video. I was in a hotel while she was visiting a school to see if that's where she wanted to go for medical school. And I put out the information that day. I said, you guys, I got it. Trump's taking on the NFL on September 23rd. Majority of the world writes the date 23/9, like 239, like the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia. I already told you this. I'm just paraphrasing what I said back then. I said, I already told you at the end of last Super Bowl, Brady's back in the Super Bowl, the Patriots with the flag on the side of the helmet. I said this whole year is about the protests and the flag, and Colin Kaepernick started the whole ritual on the 239th day of the year. Trump took office while the flag was 239 years old. He's got the same birthday as the flag, June 14th. But I said he took on these protesters on 23/9. I said, that's your Super Bowl. 239 is the 52nd prime. It's the year of Super Bowl 52. It's the home of the flag, Philly versus the Patriots. And sure enough, it was. And again, we even saw why, if the Eagles were going to win, it was going to be Zach Ertz, number 86, scoring the winning touchdown 86 days after the Super Bowl when the national anthem was adopted 86 years before that season. That pick paid 30-1. Had you just put $5 down on it, you had a nice 150 after the game. Actually, you had 155. You got your 5 back too. But, not even that long ago, right? And this guy's younger than I am. I'll be 42 in a few days. This guy's only 38, that deadly number that I educate about all the time. But just look at this, you guys. He's dead 74 days after his 38th birthday, right? You learn this gematria thing. And let me just, if you're new here, the practice of coding numbers into words. There's 4 base ciphers of the English language, alphabetic order with numerology, reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Look at killing and just look at gematria, and then look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name. 74 and 38, right? Seen this 1,000 times. English is the same way too. We're talking about the numerical code behind the English language, these deadly numbers that come together all the time. We talked about what just happened with the deadly flooding in Texas on 7/4, where the alert was sent out at the 74th minute of the day. In a town named after a man from the Texas Revolution, which ended in history 74 days before July 4th. And of course, they're comparing it to what happened 38 years ago. Plus a whole lot more. James Kerr, who Kerrville's named after, with a 24/9 birthday, and huge ritual for the 249th birthday of the nation. But anyway, here we are again, 7438. This is the story 74 days after his 38th birthday. And let's just go through it. He's supposedly dead from brain cancer. Brain cancer is 52-74. He was one of the winners of Super Bowl 52. This news breaks 74 days after his 38th birthday. Brain cancer. How about the Super Bowl the Eagles just won? 59. What's this guy's name equal? Bryan Braman, 59. Eagles just won, 59. How about from the day the Eagles won Super Bowl 59? Remember, it was a tribute to 40 acres and a mule scoring 40 points on the 40th day of the year. Whole nother story, but from that day, the day the Eagles won 59, to his death is 158 days later. Notice, Freemasonry equals 158 and 59, just like Walter Camp. And Walter Camp is the football that American... What did I just say? Walter Camp is the Freemason who American football is credited to. You know? See these number pairings all the time. He was born in 87, Philadelphia Eagles 87. Today's date numerology, July 17, 25. 7 plus 17 plus 25 is 49. Eagles equals 49, like Super Bowl, like NFL. You can add to that list America and Washington equal 49. Born on May 4th, dead on July 17th. He's out here from the same part of the state I'm living in. You know, I'm not far from Spokane. And here's the other thing, too. He started in the NFL with Houston. Who's from Houston on the Eagles? Oh, their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, born in Houston. Played on New Orleans as well, this guy. Where did the Eagles just win the Super Bowl last year, 59? Didn't they win it in New Orleans? So look at all the teams he's connected to. Houston, like Jalen Hurts. Eagles, like who won it. New Orleans, like where the Super Bowl was. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's sad. And again, if you're new here and you don't know about 38 in Death, I can hit it one more time. This movie poster right here, I actually own this movie poster. It's in the closet right now. It was in my background for a long time, but again, the reason it was in my background all the time is because it's hard for even a few days to go by where I'm not talking about 38 in Death in the news. Death, murder, killing, R.I.P. They all equal 38. Murder by Numbers, the movie. Came out while Bullock was in her 38th year of life, 38 weeks after her birthday. The E's a 3, the B's an 8. Again, the song Murder by Numbers by the Police, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, came out in 83. Sandra Bullock equals 83. Again, it's the Jesuits. The Jesuit Masonic Alliance, again, they're inseparable, really. It's just like today can be written 17/7, the day the news breaks, and the Jesuit orders 177. Everybody plays for that Jesuit Lombardi trophy. Of course, Vince Lombardi died at Jesuit Georgetown, established right before the Freemason was installed as President George Washington back in 1789. But yeah, Ignatius of Loyola Day, April 19th. Day in history became the Superior General. It's just killing, death, R.I.P., Gematria, English Kabbalah, where the whole thing comes from, all 38. So, yeah, it's just, these examples that they just come fast and furious. Why is there no chatter about this on the internet? You know, a video popped up in my feed today, why conspiracy theories are so popular, and I took, it was like 11 minutes long. I took the time to listen to the whole thing. Young guy doing it, had hundreds of thousands of views. Young guy, looked like he was in his early 20s, didn't know a single thing about anything. The whole video was just full of misinformation and just wrong. Just everything about it was wrong. It was nothing but misinformation. And it was just total ignorance, which is what you expect from somebody who's about 20 years old. But I'm just like, how is this what's getting the views now? It was halfway decently edited, but it's like, is that what people watch? They just need the halfway decent edits and the explosions on the screen as it transitions to the next thing. It's just, then you're listening to a narrator who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Why is that? Again, I'm asking a rhetorical question. People have been programmed to need that when they watch, but it's pathetic. You know, how many millions of Philadelphia Eagle fans are there in the nation who know who this is? And they're going to see this headline today, and they're not even going to look into it. And this stuff goes on every single week. How many more deaths will there be this offseason as we come right into the football season start? Keep track, you guys. Get out a pen and paper and keep track of how many more times I'm going to talk about a dead NFL player before the season even kicks off. And then that doesn't even talk about once the season's underway and as we approach the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just, dead from brain cancer at 38. I mean, come on, man. It just all lines up with the Super Bowl he won. And his name lines up with the last Super Bowl the Eagles won. The only two Super Bowls they've won, 52 and 59. All right, so yeah, that's first up on the plate. Rashee Rice, who had the ritual in Dallas with the car crash for Easter the other year. There was a lot to it. He's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I noticed that today's the 87th day of his age. This is in the news at the same time, so I thought, that's interesting. Guy from Philly's in the news, while another guy who played from Philly's dead, who was born in 87. Again, guy who's dead, born in 87. Rashee Rice, 87th day of his age. Now, you could also say it's 86 days after Rashee Rice's birthday, which is also true. And he's 25, and here we are in 2025. And just notice, he's in the news today. He's going to go to jail for 30 days. Words like slavery and Tuskegee and the N-word and a whole bunch of things connected to Black History equal 30. You look like him, you're more likely to get put in jail for some petty crime than if you look like me, because that's the racist history of the U.S. But anyway, 86 days after his birthday and his full name equals 86. You can choose to think this stuff's a coincidence every day, or you can recognize what it really is. It's ritual. It's ritual. And it's also programming. How often do you see the white athletes in pro sports shamed? It happens rarely. How often do you see the black athletes shamed? You remember how the NFL season started last year? We enjoyed it because we hit a nice player prop that day, but somebody picked up their 77th touchdown that day in the NFL. You see how police officers, 77, like police department. Do you remember what happened last year at the start of the season? Do you remember a football player? It almost looked like George Floyd. Do you remember this? Plays for the Dolphins now. Used to play for with Mahomes. Yeah, he was getting arrested. They showed the footage all over. It was a saga for weeks at the start of the season. But sure enough, yeah, he did pick up his 77th career touchdown that day. And it's just a psychological operations for this nation, the nation with the capital on the 77th meridian. By the way, been a minute, who I did the interview with, he put out his video today. I'm hoping we're going to have a follow-up conversation. I mostly liked his video. He pointed out 3 things that he disagreed with me on, but he didn't elaborate on why. And a part of me goes, does he really disagree on these things, or does he want to stay in the smooth lane he's in right now on YouTube, where he's averaging upwards of 500,000 views per video? And again, that's the reality too. We live in it's always been this way, but money controls the things people say for most people. For example, you do the things I do on YouTube, you will be punished, you will be deleted, you'll be demonetized. Even if you are allowed to stay monetized, like this channel has for a record amount of time, it's also been the worst channel I've ever had. It gets no views, it's never growing. Like I said, this channel's been up for over 3 years now, and it has less subscribers by a lot than the channel that was up for 8 months, connected to when we went across the country. That channel was almost at 60,000 subs when it got deleted shortly after we finished the New York trip. But yeah, he made a point about how he doesn't think there's any conspiracy with 9/11. It's like, really? Let's talk about that more. Let's talk about Flight 77 that there's still no footage of, that hit the Pentagon 77 minutes after it took off on the 77th meridian. When you spell out the day, it's 77. Like when you spell out the big 11 thing in the 11th state, it's 77. Anyway, it's a whole nother topic, but the point is that number's not arbitrary, and so... And this is the guy who's supposed to replace the guy for the Chiefs who's now playing for the Dolphins, who went through the arrest ritual last year. I don't think these things are arbitrary. I'm talking about Tyreek Hill for people who forgot. Tyreek Hill arrest. Forgot that story. That was the big story as the season got underway. Okay. Did you guys see that Trump got diagnosed with a disease that mostly only women get? And again, people think it's crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's a female to male. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the opposite with Melania. Um, Again, just the body, the small hands, his catty personality. Trump reminds me of a woman personally, like an annoying woman. Not all women. There's plenty of great women, but he doesn't remind me of a man at all. Not accountable at all. Some men aren't accountable, but that's a common quality in a lot of women. Just not accountable, can't be blamed for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. I mean, I've known 1,000 women like that, including the 2 in my own family. But yeah, look at this, you guys. Look at this. He's diagnosed with this women's disorder, chronic venous insufficiency. Keep in mind, Venus, the planet's also associated with the feminine. Maybe he'll get fired permanently on a Friday, like he likes to fire people on Fridays, the day after, named after Venus. But anyway, it is Thursday today. Chronic venous insufficiency 138, like Donald Trump. We were talking about this last night with the firing of Marine Comey. You missed last night's video. Thankfully, YouTube didn't mute that one like the one I put out this morning. But yeah, there's the 138 to start. There's been a million rituals with Trump and 138 over the years. And notice it's 33 days after the Trump's birthday, like federal equals 33 and 138. And the disorder that he has that's common with women is known as CVI, which equals 47 like Trump. Another 47 ritual. I found the stat about 60% relating to CVI in the Wikipedia. Curious, might all the 60 stuff with Trump in the 60th election, but yeah, it's just, maybe he really does have CVI, maybe he doesn't. Is it an accident that it comes 33 days after his birthday, this news story in the Masonic city? Of course it isn't. Course it isn't. And like I said, when I first started, my work was focused on 3 numbers, 33, 47, 74, because they're all very important to Masonry and this Kabbalistic code when Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. 47th problem of Euclid, venerating 33. The word Masonic equaling 74, whereas Masonry equals 33. The first degree of Freemasonry, the honored apprentice, the chump, the apprentice. Real quick, if you missed the Comey thing last night, she's got the 138 and 60 connection like Trump, who just won the rigged selection, the 60th, at 214 days after Comey's birthday. Again, going with the Republican Party and Church of Satan, where the highest degree is mega, and we know that's not an accident. And again, from the Comey 8647 thing to the firing of his daughter, 63 days like you're fired. Also, Comey did the 8647 thing with the shell formation, which equals 167, and then she gets fired on the 16th day of the 7th month. Laughable. All the stories are connecting her with Diddy, too. And because she was part of the prosecution of Diddy as well as Epstein, they've said the same legal teams took down both of them, and they're both total distractions and total bullshit stories as far as I'm concerned that nobody needs to know about because they don't matter at all in terms of the scope of things, but so many people care because they care about all the wrong things. They're easily distracted with what's put in front of them by the screens. But yeah, I meant to cover this a while back, from Diddy's arrest by the numbers to his sentencing date upcoming on October 3rd. That's 383 days, the 76th prime. Like Bad Boy Records is 59 and 76, just like Slave, Negro, Roston, Blues are all 59 and 76. And don't forget, one of the biggest rituals of the thing was the testimony of Diddy supposedly taking Obama-shaped ecstasy, and that was 76 days before Obama's birthday, when, of course, Barack Obama equals 76, and his Secret Service named Renegades 59, and again, I guess I'll just show you this real quick to go back down memory lane. Oh, by the way, have you seen that new movie Sinners, which begins on the day leaving 76 days left in the year and ends on the same day, October 16th? But yeah, when Obama put out A Promised Land on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, the name of the book, A Promised Land, is 76, like Barack Obama, and also like Skull and Bones, which is powerful in DC because he did put that out on the 322nd day of the leap year. And skip down again, day leaving 44 days left in the year for Mr. 44, when A Promised Land is a play on Abraham in the Bible. But it was also 106 days after Obama's birthday. Black 106, like the first mayor in New York was the 106, like 106 in Park on BET, like a gazillion other things with black history, including Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe. And again, notice The Promised Land is 59 and 76. And same numbers encoded into Obama. The first black president when the feds recognized Black History Month in 76 on on February 10th, 10/2, like slavery's 102. But remember, Obama announced he was running for president February 10th, 2007, 31 years to the day. Slave is 31 and 14, just like Obama. So, yeah, anyway, I mean, same stuff day after day, right? Mega celebrities who are black get this same code over and over. And don't forget what they did to George Foreman earlier this year. Dead at 76. He won 76 fights. He fought in 81 and won 76. He died in Houston the very next day. Houston. Look how big George is, 42, guys. The other number stamped all over Black history, right? The very next day, Houston in the March Madness tournament gets their 42nd win in the tournament, and they win 81-76 a day after George Foreman's dead. When he had the George Foreman girl that supposedly absorbed 42% of the fat. Go back and look. That's how they advertised it. And don't forget when his daughter died 59 days after his birthday. And on and on and on. But yeah, I did a video on this earlier today, and it's now the 4th video in less than a month where I uploaded it, and it had no audio, even though the video does have audio. Anytime it does that and I try to re-upload the video, it's muted every time. It doesn't matter if I try to upload it 10 times. Every time it's muted. So anyway, big story yesterday. Didn't get nearly as much attention as when Israel attacked Iran, but big story internationally. Israel attacked Syria, and they did it 33 days after attacking Iran on June 13th. And like I say, the people that conduct these rituals, they work by this Gematria code, which comes from Kabbalah, which is based in the Torah, where in the Torah you have warring factions in Syria, which is a ram in the Bible. It's like a ram, like the ram is the god of war. But in Genesis, you have a warring with Israel and what is modern day Syria. Okay? So anyway, Bible 33, Aram 33, 33 days later, War Games and Act of War 33, run it in reverse. They're both 48, like Israel established in 48. And don't forget that the divisors are 33, summed to 48. Masonry, secrecy, order, federal, all 33. The reason pirate and FF are up here is because there is a relationship there. Modern Freemasonry, you must have a Templar on hand to open a new lodge. Of course, the ancient Templars are gone, and that's because they were burned at the stake in France, which is now the plus 33 International Dialing Code, and then a lot of them sailed across the seas and became pirates. And pirates are connected with the FF term, and we all know how this thing started on October 7th with the FF perfectly coordinated with Netanyahu's return. And don't forget who told you the day Netanyahu came back to expect a war to start in Israel right around the time Yale would turn 322 years old. Home of Skull and Bones, who gets their symbolism from the Templars and specifically the pirate period of them. Of course, October 7th was 2 days before Yale turned 322 years old. Netanyahu declared war on October 8th on Hamas, the day before Yale turned 322 years old. So yes, all this stuff does go together. And don't forget the alumni of Yale are Bonesmen, which equals 33, and 2001. Remember, they called Israel, what happened there on October 7th, they called that Israel's 9/11. Of course, 9/11 happened 33 years after 68 when George W. Bush graduated from Yale Skull and Bones. And of course, 9/11 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code, and World Trade Center construction began in New York, and yada, yada, yada. But here we are with the 33s again. I mean, they're all over if you pay attention, just like Trump's diagnosis today, 33 days after his birthday. He's got those lady legs. They should do like a Sir Mix-a-Lot remix with Donald Trump with his big fat ass. Baby got back. Anyway, Genesis, which references, this biblical ancient war between Israel and modern day Syria. Genesis 33. Again, Genesis means in the beginning, with simple cipher in the beginning equals 137, which is the 33rd prime. And about it all being biblical. Remember, June 13th, the day that Israel attacked Iran, was the 4th anniversary of Netanyahu stepping down from power and Again, the Holy Bible equals 201. Like State of Israel, its true name equals 201. Like the Jesuit order, who's totally behind the creation of Israel and the wars that brought about Israel. They love their 201s. And interesting enough, War Games and Act of War also 129, which is 201 in base 8 counting. And it goes with Georgetown, the first Jesuit university in the U.S., equaling 129. And their motto being both into one, which is a lot like 201, which should remind you of what happened back in 2001 when two towers became zero before they became one World Trade Center. And then this latest attack on Syria is 119 days before the Superior General's 77th birthday. Remember, Israel turned 77 this year. He's also born in 48. But of course, Vatican's 119, like Star of David, like All Seeing Eye. And it reminds of the leader who stepped down by the numbers at the end of last year, Bashar al-Assad, with the 11th of September birthday, that fateful day. And as we covered, when he stepped down last year, it was still Pearl Harbor Day in the U.S. It was December 7th, but when he stepped down, it was already December 8th in Syria. And the story was that he fled to Moscow to be protected by the tyrant Putin. And coincidentally, it was 88 days after his birthday, when Moscow equals 88 like Vladimir, and you run it the other way, it's 128 like December 8th, the day that this was over there. And as we pointed out, it was 23 years after 9/11 when Al-Qaeda equals 23 like CIA, reminding that bin Laden was an asset of the CIA. He was Timothy Osman, not to be mistaken with Timothy McVeigh, who was also born in 68 and who was put to death at 33, 3 months before 9/11 happened. All those things in 68. And then, since it was Pearl Harbor Day still in the U.S., it was the 83rd Pearl Harbor Day, which is 80, or I should say 83 years from the anniversary. Don't forget, Pentagon construction began on September 11th, 41, right before Pearl Harbor, that they called 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor, and buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell, like the dates December 7th, 127, or that ground zero equals 127, and that terminology came out of the Manhattan Project when the World Trade Centers were in Manhattan, which reminds that the Department of Homeland Security came out of that, and it was the Department of Homeland Security that arrested Diddy in Manhattan when Diddy's big song Juicy, of course he's the producer, but Biggie's the rapper, was banned after 9/11 because the lyrics were blow up like the World Trade. Anyway, again, all this stuff's been major league ritual by the numbers, as it always is, and this is why everyone should be learning about this. And it's frustrating people aren't. I mean, they'd be seeing right through the puppet show every single day. So also the people who are being Israel did this to, here's what it says. Tel Aviv, Israel. Israel launched airstrikes into Syria's capital of Damascus. Again, this was yesterday, July 16th. On Wednesday, hitting the defense ministry headquarters and an area near the presidential palace. Israel's military said it was intervening to defend the minority Druze sect in southern Syria. Just for the record, Druze, 74. Or I'm always teaching about what number do they always pair with 74? World Trade Centers come down after existing for 33 years on the 74th meridian. The only state that equals 74 is the 33rd state. Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables all equal 74. The common belief that he's killed at 33. 33 days after Iran, they're attacking Syria to save the Druze, which rhymes with what? Why doesn't Israel stop attacking people and save the children that they're blowing up in water and food lines? You know. Anyway, it's just, I guess it's just business as usual. Business as usual. Yeah, I might have said a few more things in the video I made this morning, but I think those are the main points. So, run over the headlines real quick. U.S. has been sending illegal immigrants without due process to Africa. That's a weird thing. CNN's focused on that along with his lady legs. Swollen legs, bruised hands. Maybe he was just trying to get them bigger so they look more like man hands. What else? Let's see. I'm just seeing what everyone's covering today. Trump's lady legs are all across the board. Even the BBC. In a way, it's just like, how's J.D. Vance going to end up replacing Trump? Same thing here. British spies and SAS named in Afghan data breach. The personal details of spies and soldiers were included in a data leak that also named 19,000 Afghans. Oh, really? Let's see. Al Jazeera. Another 90 dead. Israel kills over 90, including dozens of aid seekers in Gaza in one day. And you do gotta wonder about almost every time I look at these Al Jazeera numbers that they report for the day, it's just, again, today's Thursday, named after Jupiter. Jupiter's 90. 90's the number. Of course, 90's a Bible number too, right? These are religious wars. Holy Bible. They got the one eye symbolism with the child up here. But again, different people listen to different news. They got different things in their mind. Totally different opinions on what's going on in the world. Even our media, though, in the beginning of this was covering how we were blowing up hospitals every day, and then you'd have some Israeli Mossad guy on CNN explaining that they have to do it because they set up their base under the hospital. And it's just like, I don't think that means you have to do it. I don't think that means you have to blow up a hospital with people in it because supposedly Hamas is under there. Because all I see is this perfect ritual. Don't forget, October 7th was 282 days after Netanyahu came back on Albert Pike's birthday. Same Albert Pike who wrote the letter about 3 world wars to come, where the third one would be centered on political Zionism. Benjamin Netanyahu, 282. 177, 69 like the Jesuit order. But yeah, that was the big story a few days ago, that Israel bombed a water line, people waiting for water. Whole bunch of kids dead. It's mostly women and children in Gaza. And that's true for a lot of the Middle East. I remember when I was still in my 13 years of slave school coming up, there was, at some point, we were studying what happened to Iraq before we'd even gone in there the second time. Again, I was in high school before 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened shortly after I graduated from high school. I graduated, May 2001. 3-4 months later, 9/11 happens. But I remember in one of our social studies classes just learning about the wars in the Middle East, just how many of those nations didn't have much of a male population because they've been killed in all the warring. And the Middle East was a nation, where a huge percentage of the people were young and women. So this is a part of the world that has experienced terrorism like no other. And in the West, we've been trained that they're the terrorists. Again, it's Orwellian. Everything's totally backwards. And then meanwhile, you're on Amazon and you're watching the latest John, wait a minute. It's not John Clancy, is it? I'm having like some alternate reality. Well, Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy show out of his many books made into shows. I know it's the Jack Ryan series they put on there with the Office guy, but it begins with, the West bombing, what was it, like a wedding in the Middle East, and everyone's killed except for two children that barely survive, and they grow up to be these terrorists that hate the West. I mean, they're telling you the story of why there is this anti-Western sentiment in that part of the world, and why wouldn't there be? Imagine you grew up here in the U.S. Imagine it's an alternate reality, and in the U.S. we're bombed by Iran's the superpower of the world, and they got bases all around here. They built bases in Mexico and Canada that surround us. They're flying their stuff over us. They're dropping bombs on us. What would you want to do if your parents were having an anniversary get together with the friends over and they all blew up because Iran thought there was a terrorist gathering there? Rumors were Hamas was hiding in the anniversary cake. might you think like, God, well, what I want to do with my life is get vengeance for this? I think that'd be a pretty normal human reaction. I don't know why it's so hard for people to look at things like that. And it was explained to you guys. It was explained by people even before we went into Afghanistan and Iraq. There were people like you were watching the right programming, a argument like what was it called? The McCarthy group that used to be on PBS at nights. Is that what it was called? Let me see. That's what it was called. The McCarthy group. It was something like that. The McCarthy group. Hold on. Try it. He's dead now. He's an old guy. God, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but there was a show where they'd have a bunch of different paper journalists, and it was actually one of the better things to watch on TV. But they'd talk about this, and you'd have people on there say, no, it's insane to go in there. Again, the reason that part of the world has so much anti-sentiment towards us is because of what we've been doing over there. We've bred hate. We need to leave that part of the world alone. We need to apologize for what we've done, and that's the way to make sure stuff like this never happens again. So... And you've even seen the mainstream media. I mean, there's been like in the years I've been here, we've covered the stories of the days it kind of like CIA acknowledges that the war on terror has only made it less safe for America. It's like, oh, great. Wasn't that obvious? Wasn't it just common sense from the beginning? Glad we spent trillions of dollars and killed all these people and, messed up our own populace and all these young homeless people wandering the streets mad that they went over there because they played Call of Duty and they thought they were doing something righteous, and then they ended up shooting up a family over nothing. It's like Tom Cruise and Born on the 4th of July. Thank you, Gematria Sense. They said Bryan Braman dead 49 days before Eagles season opener. Yeah, good addition. Again, if you guys got here late, we talked about the latest dead sports champion. Again, Bryan Braman dead at 38, 74 days after his birthday from brain cancer when he won Super Bowl 52, and his Eagles just won Super Bowl 59, and how from that Super Bowl 59 date to today connects to the history of the NFL and its Freemason Walter Camp foundings. And yeah, I mentioned that today has 49 date numerology. I didn't look, and good catch though. So yeah, today's a Thursday. That's right. Yeah, the Eagles open the season 7 weeks from today, 49 days. Yeah, absolutely. Something else. Something else. Good one, Gematria Sense. Thank you. Dancing Foo. What's this new crown thing on here? That's a new thing. I just started seeing that in recent days. I don't know what these crowns are about. It says, hi, Zach. Would you ever be able to share your favorite books on your bookshelf? I know you mentioned many of them in the past, but maybe you can make a separate... Just the books back there that are my favorite are the ones written by Kurt Vonnegut. I'd encourage everybody to just read Kurt Vonnegut books. Shout out to Rob. Thank you very much, Rob. Hope your taxi service for the Amish is still going well. You entrepreneur, you. Yeah, I told you guys that last year that my new neighbor who took a big risk in life to give up his decent career to become a tractor salesman. Might sound crazy to you, but there's actually a lot of money in selling tractors. I just want to tell this story because he actually told me more about it. But I was telling you guys about this last year, how he landed a commission of over $200,000, which is more money than he'd ever made in a year in his life. And it was kind of dumb luck. Just for all the people out there struggling, again, just taking risks, just putting yourself out there, sometimes it makes all the difference. So I learned more about how he got this commission. He told me more about it maybe a few months back. He was new to his job, right? And he was out at some other sale, and then on driving back, he covers a lot of terrain. We're out here in the middle of Washington. He covers Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, and he goes out and sells tractors to farmers. But he was coming back from a sale that he'd been assigned, and as he was driving, he just saw this alignment of tractors in the field, and he thought, I wonder whose operation is this? So, he turned on the gravel road and drove up the road and came to a building and walked in there and introduced himself. Said, I see you got John Deere's, a bunch of John Deere tractors. I work for this company, Klaus, German company. And he says, if you're ever interested, I promise you, we have a superior product. And, they didn't really say anything to him that day, but he got back to the office and he told his other coworkers where he stopped by, and they all laughed at him. They said, oh, man. They said, you're never going to get their business. He said, they're John Deere diehards. We've tried them before. I forget what is it, Mennonite? Mennonite's the thing that's very close to Amish. They're actually Mennonites, these people. Mennonites use some technology, like tractors. But there's a Mennonite community out here in Washington State that has hundreds of acres. And anyway, because of his persistence and his personality, he ended up getting these people to convert from John Deere to Klaus, and this guy got the biggest commission in the history of the company after not being there that long. And yeah, anyway, just everybody thought he was out of his mind to even try and reach out to these people. He said they're untouchable, they're not going to do it, but then they did. So yeah, don't listen to what other people tell you, and sometimes you do have to take risks in life. Again, for everyone who a lot of people made rumors about me over the years, like a call for an uprising, guy that can only talk about checkerboard floors and all this. He's made videos over the years saying, "Oh, think about it." Because for you guys who don't know, the first 5 years that I did this, I didn't make a single penny. I didn't monetize anything. I didn't sell anything. But he'd make videos like that and go, "Think about it. Zach's obviously Mossad, because how can he do this without having any ads on his videos or taking any donations?" And it's like, well, the reason I could do it is because I had taken a big risk in my life and quit my teaching. Well, I actually took several different risks along the way. I also gave up a very good job in real estate shortly after exiting college, but I made good money in the time I was there. Anyway, the point was I quit my job in teaching, and teaching's not great money, but it's steady and it's consistent, and I did pay a bunch of money to go to school to get my teaching certification. But I quit the teaching job because in 2012, there was a big opportunity in Washington State with the legalization of cannabis, and I saw all kinds of business opportunity there. And again, it was like striking gold, but there's plenty of other people who could have done exactly what I did. They didn't do it. It's just sometimes you gotta quit what you're doing, even though it seems dangerous. You see an opportunity, you gotta seize the moment. And the other thing that I had going for me too is I always had a lot of savings. I saved my money. I always saved it for a rainy day. So anyway, the first 5 years that I was doing this work, I was able to do it because I had saved, because I'd made smart decisions, because I'd created a business that was quite lucrative. Now, granted, midway through those first 5 years, I did lose everything because my house got burglarized, but I didn't give up the business all the way. So I still had a little cash flow always there in the background. But yeah, it was just, stupid people like that putting stupid information. Oh, how can you do it? Well, from being smart, I guess, So, yeah, anyway, sometimes you got to take risks to get ahead. My neighbor, he took a big risk. He quit a pretty good career to sell tractors. Might have sounded crazy to anybody else at the time. And then even once he started there, he pushed on a potential client that everybody thought was impossible, and he ended up getting the biggest commission in the history of the company. Anyway, the reason I brought up that story is because I saw Rob the same day last year that he told me about his commission and how excited he was. Rob called me up and was telling me about the business that he launched, taxiing around the Amish. And by the way, you guys, for all you guys who struggle with work, you gotta get creative. You got to think about where opportunities are. Sometimes you got to be willing to do things you don't want to do. My mom, once upon a time, found herself unemployable because she just can't get along with people. And she had to start cleaning homes. And she realized that by cleaning, she could actually make a pretty good income. And it's still that way to this day. I mean, the average rate for cleaning is like $40 an hour. Are you guys making $40 an hour at your job right now? Why not go clean? I know a lot of you guys are complaining about how expensive things are. Go clean. There's always cleaners needed. Airbnbs are so popular. People need people to clean Airbnbs, and the Airbnb cleaners are charging more than $40 an hour. There's so many opportunities in the world. You just got to be willing to do things sometimes that you don't want to do. Anyway, I say that for all the people out there struggling financially, because I know some of them are in this community. So anyway. All right, I got tangential there. Thank you, Jaybird, 83. Hey, are we born in the same year? 83. Jaybird83 for becoming a Gematria apprentice, it says. Thank you. Rablanto again with the super generosity. Rablanto always with the big 20. News by the numbers. Continue to keep us informed. Will do, Rablanto, and very grateful for your continued generosity. Again, I do appreciate it. You don't have to donate that much. I do appreciate it. It's funny. I'm talking about my neighbor right now, and he's texting me that he needs me to do something after. That's funny. Those vibrations you put out in the universe, all of a sudden he thinks to text me. Of course, he needs me to help him out tonight. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, let me open up the phone line. Actually, hold on. Let me do one more thing before I open up the phone line. Again, we did this interview with Been a Minute. He put up his video today. And so far, it's off to a pretty slow start for his videos. Man, he might learn that covering Gematria, man, maybe just talking about Gematria. Because look at this guy's channel. I mean, he gets pretty good views. When I did the interview with him, I didn't realize that his channel did this well. He's grown 1,000 subs since our interview. He was at 107. We did the interview about a week ago. He's eclipsed 1 million more times than I have. I've only eclipsed 1 million 2 times. He's got 3 videos right there with over 1 million views. And of course, on this channel, I can't even sniff 10,000. Woo, it's bad these days on this channel. But yeah, I mean, look, consistently well over, 2 of his videos. Actually, man, 3 of his videos recently got 1 million views. 3 in the last year. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So in the last year, he's really jumped into something because his views are way up. So, man. Yeah, okay. So his channel has really climbed in recent times. Wow. Okay, so he's had a great last year, whatever he tapped into. He's good at making thumbnails. You got to give him A+ for all these thumbnails. But yeah, very, very. I don't know if he deletes older videos, but you can see he went from not much to boom. All right. Anyway, I hope him covering Gematria doesn't mess up his channel. Let's hope that's not the case. I want to play a little.
If you're a man who makes at least
I'm hoping we're gonna have a
you
conversation.
feel self-conscious about your guts
Follow-up
sticking out.
conversation. I don't know if he's gonna want to do it on his channel though. It could be consequential on his channel. Let me rewind here. I think it's right around. I think it's right about here that he said. Here, let's check this out. That are out there are Jewish people who don't support this.
Yeah.
So that's also a big thing that I try to get my messages.
Well, Zach and I found common ground on a number of issues. We definitely didn't agree on everything. At one point, he used Gematria to suggest that COVID-19, or Cooties-19 as he referred to it, was a planned pandemic.
You know that was simulated with something called Event 201, correct?
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, that was the simulation for Cooties-19. If you want to look that up sometime, it was October 18th, 2019, the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China.
He also brought up weather manipulation, using the recent deadly flooding in Texas as an example.
Wiping out this Texas town in light of what Lyndon Johnson said back in '62.
And referenced 9/11 conspiracies a few times.
Again, it was September 11th that really got me seeing that there must be something to number and ritual.
I chose not to dive into these topics during our conversation as they felt a bit too conspiratorial for me to engage with in any meaningful way.
Okay. So he brought those up as things that he disagrees with. And granted, it sounds like, he's even admitting he hasn't done a lot of research on it, but a lot of people are just unwilling to go there in any of these topics too, and they limit themselves. And again, people like Ben a Minute and everyone else need to consider, well, what if you are wrong? What if 9/11 is not what you were told it was? What if Cooties-19 is not what you were told it was? What if weather manipulation is real? And he tries to edit and compact everything down because he does short videos, and I get it. There's a lot of people on YouTube say, you shouldn't make videos longer than 30 minutes. In this, he has a lot of clips of me, but a lot of it's just missing all the context and important information. It is what it is when you got to whittle things down. I overall like his video, and it's not like he said anything demeaning there, but that is what I would like to have a conversation with him about. Why? Why do you disagree on those things? What research have you done on those things to be in disagreement? Because I presented to him some pretty interesting facts about all those things in our, what was it, about 2-hour conversation that we had, broken up into 2 parts because we had a disconnect in the middle of it. Yeah, you know, he represents a pretty mainstream American, and again, it's the mainstream Americans that we need to get to engage with this information and engage by looking at it from both sides to see if, you know, they need to adjust their worldview. He also says something at the end that he doesn't really think it matters that much if it's secret societies doing it or some other group. I'd like to talk to him about that as well, because I'm like, what do you mean? You have to know who is behind the problem to address the problem. So, you know, he's a little bit younger, but I found that part perplexing too. I was like, wait a minute, you don't think it's that important who's doing this? Somebody burned your house down. You figure out who's doing it. You're like, well, it doesn't matter that much that you figured it out. I mean, your house is still burnt down. Well, somebody's about to get their ass whooped, so my next house doesn't get burned down. That's the way I see it. Anyway, been a minute. Been a minute. All one word. He's also trying to get people out of the political thing, which is good. Okay. All right, let me open up the phone lines here. Let me open up the phone lines. Lillard for $42 million back to Portland. Isn't it funny because today okay, that's in the news today. Really? Do you remember how he went to Milwaukee? For people don't, okay, Lillard went from Portland to Milwaukee. A suburb of Portland is Milwaukee. It's where all the car dealerships are. The suburb of Portland is called Milwaukee. And remember, he went to Milwaukee in a huge Jesuit ritual on the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. Now he's coming back to Portland on 17-7, like 177, the Jesuit Order 177. The Jesuits' colors are red, white, and black, like the Blazers wear. Jesuit equals 42, the number stamped all over Black history. But the other point I want to make is that in the Summer League today, Portland is playing Houston. Damian Lillard's brother's name is Houston. He coaches at Jefferson High School, which is just down the street from where the Portland Trailblazers play their basketball games. And Jefferson historically is one of the best basketball programs in Portland. They've produced a lot of college athletes. There's been a few pros that came out of Jefferson. But his brother coaches the high school team there, and his name's Houston, which reminds of Clyde Drexler from Houston, who played for the Blazers. And, of course, when you had the Valentine's Day blackouts from the weather, which we called months before it happened, Portland and Houston were without weather for the longest. Once upon a time, Enron out of Houston bought Portland General Electric, too, and bankrupted the company and destroyed everybody's savings and retirement accounts that had worked there. One of my uncles lost his entire retirement because of what happened with Enron after working his whole life for Portland General Electric. That's crazy. The Lillard thing. I talked about that this morning on Patreon with the Houston Portland game today. Man, the ritualism is crazy. Hold on. Let me just pull up my Lillard post from the other year when Lillard went to the Bucks. Damian Lillard equals 56 like Society of Jesus like Bucks equals 56. They were one of the NBA teams. Remember, all the finals were about 56 in the time of Cootie's 19, where everything was 56. Right here, 74 days after his 33rd birthday, just like where we began. 74 and 33. Again, Oregon, the only state that equals 74, the most simple cipher, the 33rd state. Milwaukee and Portland, same gematria. I remember when Lillard hit the 37-foot game winner for the Blazers' first playoff series winner in forever. That was over the, if I remember right, wasn't that over the Thunder, who used to be the Sonics? It was after 11 seasons he got sent to the Bucks. Bucks 56-11, like Damian Lillard, like Society of Jesus. During the Bucks 56 season. Blazers were in their 54 season. Is this going to be the Blazers 56 season now? Hold on. Is he coming back to the Blazers for their 56 season? Hold up. Yeah. Coming back to the Blazers for their 56th season. I mean, come on, man. Come on. You guys think this stuff's a coincidence every year? Goes to the Bucks for their 56, back to the Blazers for their 56. Okay. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. All right, let's open up the phone line and take some calls. Let me get it open here. Give me don't call in for 10 seconds. I got about 10 more seconds of button mashing here to get everything just right. Well, hold on. Hold on a second, Marcus. Hold on real quick. I'm not done. I got to do a couple more things. Let me see. Okay, let's try that out, Marcus. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're good to go.
How's it going? How's it going today, sir?
It's going well. Thank you.
Oh, man, Zach, you know, the live stream has been totally great as usual. I'm going to say this, man. I know you're just talking about people channels just growing and doing this and doing that. But I tell you what, Zach, worry not, man, because you're getting ready to do it all over again, brother. I mean, 100,000 views. It's going to happen again, Zach, because you know why? It's coming to a point where people are not going to be able to run and hide anymore. They don't have anything to swear by anymore. The truth is in front of them. So, man, I've been thinking, but you always on our mind just based off the work that you put in. And I'm just like, darn, man, I can't say I wish I was rich because that'll cause some more problems. But I really wish I actually have more to give to your work, because the thing of it is, this work needs to be out there. And moreover than that, it's going to be us that suffer in the end. Every waking day, you're showing it by the numbers. And the people that just don't want it is the ones that just don't want it because of whatever reasons. So I look at it like this, Zach, man, continue on to go. Continue on to do what you're doing, brother, because whether you help, as long as you help one person, if I'm the only person, Zach, in this world that you help, man, be happy with that, man, because everybody not going down the tube, man. You got some good people in this community that love and swear by your work, man. And for all of the naysayers, forget about it, Zach. But you know what? You're getting ready to come into your blessing too, man. You are already blessed because you've been doing this knowledge, this business, this everything you've been doing over 12 years, man. Over 12 years, man. You're about to be rewarded. Hey, man, don't give up. Continue on to get the best content that you're doing. Continue on to do what you're doing, because a lot of these individuals out here with this so-called content that they're putting out, we already know what it is. The people that know you, they know you've been shadow banned 1 million times. They know they've done so many things to your channels. I know you might have had 30 channels deleted. I know you're in your 20s. You might have got to 30 at this point. And people realize that. They don't want to hear, Zach. I was listening to a video that you had today, and they did it to you again. The video you put out early, it had no sound to it, no audio. I was like, they did it to him again.
Yeah, it's getting.
It was the last video that you put out. I don't know if someone told you, but they did the same thing that they did the other week when you put the video out. It had no audio to it, so I don't know if somebody in the chat or anybody mentioned it to you. You probably already know it, but they keep doing it to you, Zach. Hey, man, stay faithful. Keep doing what you're doing because you helping me. I'm really not concerned about anybody but me, man. You are helping me. I wish I had more. And I wish I was in position to really put this work on the map. I wish I had a channel that I can just really support this work. I mean, because I talk to my people about Gematria all the time. I mean, for years and years and years. Some of them get it, some of them don't. Some of them may have understanding, some of them may lack understanding. And I always introduce them to you, send them to the channel where they can actually get the true wisdom, the true knowledge about the things that's happening right under our nose with the deaths, everything that you cover, sports. I mean, you well rounded. You're very global in the work that you do. And I'm not going to prolong the time, Zach. I love you. I really, really appreciate what you're doing. Don't stop, Zach, because guess what, man? Right around the corner, I don't want to use the G word, but the man upstairs, you know, I know how you kind of feel about that, but I just say a higher force is getting ready to bless you, man. So don't stop. Don't give in. Continue on to do what you're doing. Continue on to produce the truth. Continue on to tell the truth, Zach. Forget the naysayers, bro. I believe, this just me talking. This just Marcus. This Louisiana talking. I believe that the man upstairs, bro, getting ready to do something special for you, man. And those 100,000 views that you used to get, I believe that you getting ready to soar that way and be up there with those other individuals, that videos that's getting those 1.2, 800K, all of that. You getting ready to see it, Zach. You getting ready to see it, because I tell you this, and I'll let you go on this, sir. You know, the toughest time that we experience is right before day. Morning is getting ready to come for you, Zach, bro, in a good way. And when it overtake you, man, count your blessings. I mean, continue on to do right. Continue on to love Sweet Lady and Little Sweet Lady, man, and continue on to be the driving force in this Gematria community. I love you, and the man upstairs do too. That's all I want to say, Zach. Stay encouraged, brother.
Appreciate it, Marcus. Thanks for the support always. You have a good day, friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, take
yes,
care.
Sir.
These patterns, you guys. I mean, just the whole thing with Lillard. And today be the third day of Lillard's age, just the relationship with 3 and 56. It's just, technically this is his third team because he went from the Blazers to the Bucks, back to the Blazers. $610.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what's good, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
It's Niall, man. I haven't called in a minute, so I just wanted to share some information that I decoded earlier that went along with the topic that you brought up already. But I actually posted on the Gematria Effect community website. I don't know if you're on the site, but if you wanted to pull my post up, it might make it a little easier to navigate. But I just had a few things to add about the Bryan Braman story, most of which you already covered, and some people in the chat brought up also. But one of the main things that stood out about the timing of his passing is that tomorrow the Eagles actually received their Super Bowl 59 rings, which I don't know if you knew that, or other people in the
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, that just makes it so much more obvious.
Which, funny enough, the date is 18/7, like 187. So I thought that was kind of ironic as well, that they're going to get their Super Bowl rings on 187, and then Bryan Braman dies the day before that. Another thing is that somebody actually brought this up earlier in the stream, but yeah, they passed away 49 days before the season opener, which is on September 4th, which is 4-9 between the Eagles and Dallas. Obviously, Eagles is 49, Dallas is 49, NFL 49, Super Bowl 49. You brought all those things up already. Another way you could look at it is that it's 1 month and 18 days away. And Gematria cancer equals 118, which he died of brain cancer. The game is on the day, leaving 118 days left in the year. And Philadelphia, PA equals 118, as well as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is 118.
Just like the Phillies were in the 118th World Series. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So just a few other details that might be helpful. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, and I can see it on the screen. But yeah, I wrote a little blurb in there that kind of explained what I was decoding. But you brought most of this up already, but those are just a few other details that I thought were significant additions to the rest of the decode. But yeah, another sacrifice to the upcoming season. But yeah, them getting their rings tomorrow was pretty, like you said, nasty work, especially considering that his name is 59 Gematria as well. So, but yeah, those are the things that I wanted to bring up and include in the stream for the rest of the listeners out there.
All right. Yeah. Great additions. I appreciate that. Good to hear from you, Niall.
Yeah, no problem, man. Have a good one.
Yeah. Take care.
Peace.
Again, if you guys are not using the Free to Find Truth website, it can be accessed through your computer or through a smartphone. If you download the Mighty Networks app, it's free. Once you download it, you just search for the Gematria Effect News community. Hop in there. It's actually a really nice website, and you guys can post all your
Can
stuff.
you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, 917?
Yeah, it's 42 days after Breonna Taylor's birthday, and the officer that was in the case got I think he got a day. He was sentenced to a day.
I saw that mockery too. I saw that mockery. Oh my God, it just meant to piss people off. This stuff.
It's 42 days after her June 5th birthday. Yeah. Also, it was interesting because I looked back at one of your posts, and it was 187 days that they did the settlement. Remember? And tomorrow can be written like 187, so that's funny.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So they also has 33-day numerology like police.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And a whole bunch of other things, if you know. Yeah. I was trying to do this decode, but I came into a wall because I can't find the guy's birthday. I think his name is Dan Rivera. He was a paranormal investigator. He died, I think, this week or last week. I don't know if you could find his birthday, but I sure can't. So I can't do a proper decode on it. He was doing the whole Raggedy Ann doll, like the some devil thing he was into.
Hold on real quick. I gotta answer the door. Sit tight.
Sure. Yeah, but that was definitely mockery, you guys. You hear? 42 days after Breonna Taylor's birthday? Come on. It's sad. But,
Okay, my bad. I'm back.
yeah, the guy, Dan Rivera, I think his name was. I don't know if you could find his birthday real quick so I could do, like, I want to measure his death, but it's fine if you want to do it later on. It's cool.
Dan Rivera?
Yeah, I think he's a paranormal investigator. He
I see. Okay.
Oops.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not watching along, so I'm trying to see what you're doing. All right, yeah. There's one more thing that I had to get off my chest. Right now, everybody wants the Epstein list. They want the client list. What are people gonna do with the client list? March? They're gonna do another march? March for your lives? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Like, we gonna do march? Like, I don't get it. Like, if y'all guys ain't purging or like hanging people, I mean, anyway, whatever. Well, thanks a lot, Jack. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. Paranormal. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know about the Annabelle doll tour. It's all news to me. This guy have a Wikipedia. Eight 810. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
What up, man? It's Marvin from Flint.
Okay.
But so look, I just had a couple of things I want to ask you about or whatever.
Okay.
But, so like, it's a rapper named NBA Youngboy.
Yeah.
He just dropped an album on called Massa, M-A-S-A, and he dropped it on. He was supposed to drop the whole album on July 4th. But he ended up like splitting up the album, so he dropped like half the album on July 4th, and then he dropped the other half on July 25th. So when I went to the Gematria calculator and I typed in Massa, it was crazy because it came up with 74. I was like, damn, look at the mockery.
And rapper is 74 too. There's a lot of rituals with rappers in 74. Just like the Tupac associate from the Outlaws was dead this year on the 4th of July.
Yeah. I was just bringing that up because it was just one that I caught, honestly, because I'm a fan of, I'm a huge fan of NBA Youngboy. I listen to a lot of his music, but it was kind of crazy that he dropped that album on 7-4 and then NASA equals 74 on the calculator.
I see that.
But I was about to say, do you think
go ahead.
Do you think there's any connections with with him dropping the other half of the album on the 25th of July?
There probably is. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about why that might be. It could be a number.
Hey, no, NASA, M-A-S-A. My bad, NASA. I see you got NASA. It's NASA.
Okay. It looks like it means make America slime again. Make America slime.
Yeah, or they say safe again. Make America safe again. Make America slime again. Both, yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Massa 74, like 74. Yeah, okay.
And I thought it was funny that he called it massa with it being Donald Trump being on his second term. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just thought that was a weird correlation, honestly.
Maybe that's part of the reason the second part's coming out on July 25th, because that's the day leaving 159 days left in the year, and Donald Trump's 159, and obviously the album is a play on Make America Great Again.
That's crazy, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look more into it, but I appreciate the heads up. Yeah, another rapper 74 ritual for the history books. Okay.
Yeah. So then a couple of the things I just want to talk real quick about. So if you go on Google, you can type in like 42 encoded in movies or something like that, and it literally brings up like most of the movies that's encoded in. And it's kind of crazy because if you type in like other weird numbers, like it don't, like I typed in like 20 one day or whatever, and like it don't bring up too many movies with 20 encoded in or whatever. But if you type in like 42, it'll show like most of the movies that's encoded in there and stuff like that. It was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
It'll probably give you a short list, but I bet you there's a gazillion more movies it doesn't mention that it's encoded in, just like Sidney Poitier, first black film star to win Best Actor in Lilies of the Field. He's standing in front of a tractor with a big 42 on it. I doubt stuff like that's in the list, but I'll have to take a look before I can say for sure.
Yeah, but I just thought it was cool how, you know what I'm saying, like crucial. It just backs the information, you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
honestly, you go on Google and type this shit in.
Sure.
You know.
Sure. Yeah.
And then another thing, I want to get that off. And then I got a homeboy that's all big on Bitcoin, and I'm glad you said the thing about the B looking like a 13 and a 13 being a 41. The 41 is a 13 prime number.
Right.
So then my thing was, do you think that they're gonna like? Of course, they're pushing everybody towards the digital coin, but do you think they're gonna have everybody on Bitcoin and then like switch everybody off to like a one world government coin or something like that?
I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin, but again, all this crypto has gotten people excited about electronic currency, and no doubt in the future there probably will be a one world electronic currency. That'd be a ways off though, but that is where they're taking humanity. So one AI system to govern all things, and you could imagine why people might get behind it, because it'd be a lot easier to you don't got to do exchange rates and do all this when you travel. It's just same currencies recognized worldwide. You could see why people might get behind it, but at the end of the day, it would just be about global surveillance. Go ahead.
It gives them more control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gives them more control.
Right.
And then the last thing is, so there's a guy on YouTube. His name, the channel is OSM. They be talking about they don't talk about like religion, nothing like that. But I was just seeing if he had anything like connected gematria wise or anything like that. Hold on, I'm about to tell you his because they got a follower. Hold on, I'm about to tell you the follower's name. What is this stuff called?
What's the name again?
Damn, I probably won't get it. The channel's called OSM. Hold on, I'm trying to. What was that book called? He had a book that he talked about. Gosh, I wrote it down. I got everything wrote down right here, but I guess I didn't write that down. I've been trying to call in the last couple of days, but I've just been missing you. You know, like dang it. I might have to get back. I might have to get back to that.
Here, since you're looking at the screen, is this the channel you're talking about? Is this the OSM? Rocket League
Right now,
freestyler?
the channel's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. OSM on YouTube. I'm not sure this is the same one you're talking about.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and look. Oh yeah, right there. With the Our Souls Matter, OSM Vision.
What is it? Is this the channel?
Hold on, my thing's on commercial right now. One minute. No, not that one. No, not that one. It's OSM Vision.
Vision. Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Yeah, okay. I got it.
I gotta look up that book that guy told me that the guy said he got a lot of information from, because I forgot their follower's name and stuff like that. But I want to know if he had any gematria connections or anything like that, because and what was that one black dude that was he got slammed in a debate through a Christian guy?
I'm not sure.
I can't think of his name. All right, well, I mean, I don't want to hold up the stream with all this stuff because I can't even remember everything right now. But shit, I just want to get all that out. When I get all this information together, I'll call again another day or something. But I appreciate everything, man. I appreciate you giving me the time, and I appreciate your work.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, bro. You keep doing your thing, bro.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Five, three,
what's
one.
good, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I just wanted to add on to that last caller. He brought up the NBA YoungBoy. Isn't this the year of the snake as well?
Yeah, it is. You just saw the death of the baseball player who won the first home run derby right before the All-Star game, known as the Cobra.
Yep. And Donald Trump has been. Did he refer to himself as being a snake also recently?
Okay. He kept telling the poem about the snake. You knew I was a snake, but you let me in. RFK Jr. referred to himself as a snake lover. Remember, they started his confirmation process on the first day of the year of the snake. But I think what you're thinking of is the old Western, not cartoon, but TV show Trackdown that came out when Trump was just a boy, about the con man named Trump who wanted to build a wall in Texas, who was a snake oil salesman.
Right. There it is. And then also Trump is the reason why NBA YoungBoy got his early release as well. So it all ties in. It's pretty crazy.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think I covered that a few months back
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah, he pardoned him or whatever. Yep. That's all I have, Zach. Just I'm supporting. I'm still here, bro. I appreciate you, man. I'll be calling in soon again.
Yeah, here was that headline right here. Rapper praises Trump after being granted a pardon for gun conviction. And yeah, so I forgot they were connected, and now it makes sense why that album is coming out on the day leaving 159 days left in the year when Donald Trump's 159. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Makes sense. All right, bro. Appreciate you. I'm tapping in when I can. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you. Good to hear your voice.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, Zach.
Take care, man. Yeah, for people who don't know about the old Western Trackdown with the con man named Trump, it came out in 58, like Trump won the 58th election the first time around. Again, this time he got 58% of the Electoral College. Hold on. There's so many calls. I'm having trouble navigating. All right. What's up, 772?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was just weird breaking up. I sent you an email just now, and it's some like American Idol artist, and he was saying that that the people on top that rule the world, that they're doing gematria and putting it in the headlines and stuff. And he's like a pretty big music artist. It happens at minute 50 in the podcast. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, I was doing some gematria. I noticed that's some interesting stuff. I noticed some connections. You know that Hale the mustache man? Not, you know who I'm referring to, but you know that phrase is 56, just like the mustache man's name is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Also, I found that there's a name for the Jesuits that I don't think that you've heard of. It's called Soldiers of Loyola, and it equals 202, 76, and 86.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard that before.
I think that the 86 is interesting because of all of the deaths, how many people they kill at 86, and they say that someone got 86.
Jesuits also equals 86. Just Jesuits alone equals 86.
That's true, yeah. And also in Hebrew, God equals 86, and like just in the standard Hebrew cipher.
Sure.
And what's also interesting is that fascism was invented by Italy. Like, they're the ones who coined the term. Mussolini, the Italian dictator.
I always make that point. You've been here for a long time to be calling and tell me that in 2025. I always make that point that fascism goes back to Mussolini.
But yeah, that was all I had. I also sent you an email yesterday. I can send it to you again. It's a playlist on how to game the algorithm on Rumble and on Odyssey. It's actually really easy to get like on the front page of those platforms, and the way that you do it is live streaming. Also on Cozy TV, there's almost no other there's no content creators on there, but but each stream will get like 600 viewers or like hundreds of viewers, and if you stream on those things along with YouTube, and you're like on the front page of those alternative platforms all the time, then you might get like some big numbers. That's like Nick Fuentes is completely off of YouTube and everything. He's on Rumble, and his streams get like 30,000 views.
Well, look at my channel on
him
Rumble. I have videos that have been on Rumble for years that have 2 views, so Rumble's never worked out for me. Again,
exactly.
It's a Republican Party platform. He's all about the Republican Party. That's why he gets views.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Alex Jones and Fox News are the only like live streamers on there. There's basically nobody else. So if you make if you live stream on there, not uploading videos, because the videos don't get any views, like live streams on there, they all get like a lot of views. Like just try it one time. You might get like some pretty big views.
Which one?
Rumble. Okay. But live streaming, not just uploading videos. And also on Odyssey, there's something called staking, where you put they have their own cryptocurrency, but it costs like 20 cents to stake a video, which basically like kind of promotes it, and for like 20 or 30 cents you'll be on the trending page. So like for like $1 a day, you could put into videos on there and just have them be trending on the trending page all the time, and maybe you might gain traction by doing that.
Okay.
And Odyssey, I know that there's not a lot of people on there, but Odyssey gets 30 million people, 30 million visits a day, and Rumble gets more than that. So if you're on the front page, even though they're not as big as YouTube, like you'd basically be one of the only people on there live streaming, you might like get in front of a pretty big audience.
I'll try it out. We'll see.
It's worth trying. Like because you got a lot of views on X, and that was really good until they deleted you off there. Maybe Rumble will do the same thing, but maybe they won't. We'll see.
I'll have to try it out. Yeah, I've never live streamed on Rumble, so I'll look into it.
All right. Well, yeah. See you, man.
All right, man. Take care. Shout out to Truth Comes with Rituals. He said, love your work, Zach. You inspire me to do similar work on TikTok, and I'm getting decent views. Meanwhile, YouTube waters down everything. Keep it up. Appreciate that. Noble HSX said, learned a lot over the years. Thank you for listening over the years. Sarah Sutherland said, are you going to upload another video with sound? I was interested in watching that clip. Sarah, I did. I went over and said mostly all that I said in the video that was muted in this live stream. If you want to rewind, just scroll back and look for where I have that information up on the screen. I did cover it in this stream. It was unfortunate the video was muted. What's up, 215? 215, you got to mute the video and just talk to me.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Zach. Can you hear me?
I can.
Listen, I would really like your opinion on something here. What do you think of Dr. Sebi? Do you think he was legit or what?
Shiva?
Dr. Sebi.
Oh, Sebi. Dr. Sebi.
Yeah, Dr. Sebi.
Well, I can tell you he died by the numbers. It's crazy how time flies. I found things suspicious about him. You know, I'm not in disagreement with a lot of what he promoted, but, you know, people would ask him point blank because he claimed that he had the cure to HIV. And whenever people would ask him what it is, he'd say things like, I forget exactly how he'd say it, but he'd say things like, well, that's like asking a gorilla, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what kind of response is that? If you have the cure to HIV, why not just blurt it out? I mean, if somebody asked me something that I taught about and I could answer it, I'd give an answer. I wouldn't be like, well, that's like asking the gorilla. Blah, blah, blah. And so I don't know. There's things about him that I find super suspect.
Okay. So if you were a betting man, would you try his products or not based on this?
Well, again, his products are expensive. You don't need to buy anything directly from him. You can just look into the ideas he was promoting and look up. I mean, he promoted an alkaline diet, right? So look what foods are alkaline and just eat an alkaline diet. If you want to support him, I imagine his money goes to his family now. At least that's what I would think. But you might want to look at where the money goes for him in case that's not where it's going anymore, people who support his products. But yeah, again, he's promoting an alkaline diet. You can easily look up online what foods are alkaline, and you can just eat that way. So.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. That's all I called in for. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate this.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah. See you, man.
Bye.
Yeah. I remember when I covered Dr. Sebi's death, it angered a lot. That was back when I still got views. You know, a lot of people were mad about my video covering his death by the numbers. It's like, well, I'm just showing what's going on in this world of celebrity. When we were in Oklahoma City, when we had the Truth Seeker gathering, there was a restaurant there in Oklahoma City, downtown Oklahoma City, dedicated to Dr. Sebi. What's up, 502? Hello? 502?
Yep.
Yeah, you're on. What's going on?
Hey, what up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. I first caught wind of you, man, back in about 8 years ago. When I guess the first video I seen of yours was when you would predict, I guess not Prince, but Vanity had just kicked it, and you said Prince better watch his ass, and then you go promote predicting the Super Bowl with Manning winning the Super Bowl with the Broncos and all that, and Von Miller will be the MVP, and yeah, that opened me up to this gematria stuff, man, and of course, I got locked up. That's why I hadn't been able to catch your videos for 8 years, and I just recently gotten out, and I'm glad to see that you're still on doing your thing. But somebody had come across, because I truly believe, that the hidden hand, the powers that, like you say, it shouldn't be, or they're doing what they're doing. But I believe in God. I'm not religious, but I do believe in an all-powerful creator, right? So do you think any possible way that, yes, okay, they're using the numbers to communicate with themselves, right? The evil ones. But you know how some scientists and I say that we're living in a simulation, and that things can be, broken down into just like ones and zeros. Do you think that there is a possible connection between the numbers and everything being, you know, how it all plays out, that the numbers just connect the dots anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of people bring up simulation theory, especially in light of my work. I don't think it's a simulation per se, though. I think they're doing this because of Kabbalah, and they're planning their rituals to essentially control the minds of humanity. I mean, that's my take on what's going on. So.
Yeah, I don't believe in the simulation thing. It's just it's messed up. But yeah, dude, you're on point, man, with your predictions. Like, see, because I live here in Louisville, and like a big thing, here is of course Kentucky Derby.
We hit it this year, right? We hit it this year again. We hit it again this year.
Yeah, I didn't get to see your picks for the last 8 years, but I do pretty good, just watching them because but yeah, I need to. I guess I need to get with you on how to get the I guess the fixes. I remember one time it was before I think it was Oaks Day, and it was like 10 minutes before a race, and they flew Big Daddy Bush that just flew in for one race, and he went and stood behind this one horse, and I lived literally like 5 minutes from the track at the time, and I said, man, that motherfucking horse is gonna win. And sure enough, man, I went there, I paid my $25 to get in. Back in, it was cheap to get in, but yeah, I threw up 200 down on that horse, and it won. I was like, man, this shit is fixed. And that was like long before, I had to open my eyes up about, 9/11 and all that, just before I was awake, how it is, before we reached that moment. But yeah, man, I just want to say, man, you're doing a hell of a job, man, and yeah, just keep doing the good work, man, and I won't take up any more of your time, brother.
You're welcome. I got to ask you something before you get off. I got about 5 requests over the years when I put out my book in 2020 from people in prison to send them a copy, and all 5 that I sent were all sent back by the prison, meaning they got rejected in the screening process. You weren't one of those people, were you?
No, because I had no way. I didn't remember your name or anything at the time, and I always just knew it was like 3 or 4 channels that I'd watch. And I mean, I watched Alex Jones, just because in the beginning he was doing his thing, I guess he might have started off with good intentions, but, he let the money and everything. And, I don't know if he's being controlled or what. I'm sure he probably is. But he woke a lot of people up. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he woke me up. And so, he did his thing. And, going down them rabbit holes is what ultimately led me to your channel and a few other people, so. But like I said, you're one of the few that I've stuck with, as far as, because it ain't no bullshit, you just, you go by what you go by, and, there ain't no fluff, so.
And they keep doing the same stuff day after day. Just like last time you were here, I said about 42 black athletes, and now here's Lillard today, signed by the numbers for $42 million. And like I said, his brother's name is Houston, and today Blazers are playing Houston in the summer league. It's just jokes. So.
I know, it's crazy. It is crazy. There was something I had on my head that I was going to yesterday. I can't think of it now. I was going to ask you because I know it was something right up your alley. Something that happened.
You can call me back. You'll think of it. I'm on almost every day. Oh, yeah, go ahead if you remember.
Well, no, I wasn't there, but I was thinking, what do you think about like earthquakes and stuff, man? I know that there are some that are happening naturally, but they're causing a lot of them too, with either through HARP and fracking and other things. But what do you think about that? Like, have you been able to predict when there's going to be like earthquakes somewhere? Because we just had one. I know you just seen it, up in Alaska, a 7.3.
Well,
and I was just wondering, like, do them numbers, are they matching up? Like what I'm saying, like the 7.3. I know that's kind of I don't know what 7.3 stands for, but I see it a lot. And like in certain things, like shows, they always show it, and but like you said, there's always different numbers that are always attached to certain things, and like you said, 201s you ready come up, and I've been getting a feeling because I was watching, and you said watch out for the 12th because that was a day that it could be, how they were talking about the grid and all that going, getting attacked. And it sounded like back in the day they would talk a whole bunch about the trade centers getting attacked. Before that happened, 6 months before, the FBI actually was putting out stuff about it. And sure enough, what happened 6 months later, we get false flag. That's what I believe. So, but what do you think about that though? The earthquakes, like when they put a number of like magnitude on it. Have you seen anything that equates with it?
You might want to look for the video I did earlier this year about the history of the USGS and the Jesuits and how much they have to do with seismography. I did put out 2 earthquake predictions in the last year for 2 specific dates in California, and there were earthquakes both of those days in California. And what it was based on was The Rock, who was in the movie San Andreas, which is based on the 9.6 magnitude quake on the San Andreas line. San Andreas equals 96, and you run the alphabetic order forwards, 174, and you run it in reverse. So I pointed out, I said, let's see what happens 96 days after The Rock's 52nd birthday and 174 days after his birthday, because California's 52. He was 52 at the time. He did turn 53 this May, but this is last year. And sure enough, there was an earthquake exactly 96 days after his birthday and 174 days after his birthday. And the thing that was interesting about the one 174 days after his birthday is it was the first day of Scorpio, like he's also the Scorpion King. And you might want to go back and watch those videos. But yeah, we did circle both those dates for California earthquakes. Now, the other thing about San Andreas and 174 is California is 174 years old right now. And they're going to be 174 until September 9th when they turn 175. There hasn't been any huge earthquake in California yet this year. But the year's not over, and I've been thinking that while they're 174...
it's been all around them.
Yeah, I've been thinking they could have a bigger one this year, so we'll see.
I'm thinking so, too, because, like I say, even if it's just nature, they just had some big ones in Japan, and now, in Alaska, and then I think there was one earlier in the year, or at the end of last year that was, like, towards South America. So you know how they had the whole ring of fire, how it's all interconnected. So I believe that they're either gonna make it happen or it's naturally gonna happen. I do believe that. So I don't know. Are you West Coast or East Coast?
I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Washington State.
West Coast. Oh, okay, yeah. See, hell, I was in Seattle the day 9/11 happened. Yeah, I'd flown out there for a couple weeks, just in time with a girlfriend of mine. But it was some weird shit, man. But all right, brother, man. Well, take care of yourself, man. I'll be watching you. Just if I can think of what I was going to ask you, man, I'll call you back.
All right, sounds good. I got to end this stream though. I got to go get my daughter, but I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're out. Thanks for
all right, brother, man. Right, hey, congrats on your daughter too, man.
Appreciate that. Thank
Peace
you.
Out.
Thank you. All right, 313, we're trying to call in a bunch. I'm supposed to be getting my daughter right now. I'm already 10 minutes late. Time flew by in this one. If you guys have never seen the Track Down Western, this came out when Trump was a child. I've been talking about this for years. This post is from a long time ago. This post is from 2017, 6 days before he took office the first time. What's up, Mr. 201 Observations in LA?
Hey, did you see that Israel hit the only Catholic church on the Gaza Strip today?
Is that right? Today?
And they said that Pope Francis used to call into that church like nightly when the war started.
Huh. And today's 17/7, like the Jesuit order and New World Order. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
And then I'll leave you with this last one. I saw an article from the Jerusalem Post a few days ago saying that Iran was accusing Israel. It said there was an Iranian official that claims Israel used occult and supernatural spirits during the 12-day war.
Yeah.
He's saying they were basically using occult warfare.
Yeah. Go figure. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Take care. See you. All right, I got to wrap it up, you guys. I got to go get Sweet Girl. But yeah, if you guys have never seen that old track down Western episode with the con man named Trump who wants to build a wall in Texas. I mean, again, been talking about this for years. Look at how this episode was synced up. Track down's one of these 134 things like Make America Great Again. There's been a lot of 134 rituals with Trump. But that episode also came out 37 days before his 12th birthday, and 37's the 12th prime. The caller who was just asking me about 7 and 3. In Hebrew gematria, 73 and 37 are considered the most special numbers because Genesis 1:1 encodes 73 and 37. Consider Catholic Bibles are 73 books long. 73 is the 21st prime. Bible equals 21. 37's the 12th prime. Think about that. 37's the 12th prime. 73 is the 21st prime. 37, 73 are reflections of each other, so are 12 and 21. Jesus, the story of his life, stops at age 12 and comes back at 30. It's like also parts of a circle, isn't it? 12, like the zodiac, it's a circle, right? 12 constellations, so each is 30 degrees of the circle. 12 times 30, 360, the degrees in a circle. Jesus' life story ends at 12 and comes back at age 30. Anyway, but yeah, this thing with Trump and Trackdown, if you've never seen it, go watch this episode. I'm pretty sure it's still online. It used to be online. You could watch it for free. A con man named Trump who wants to build a wall in Texas. And just where it's also set, Talpa, Texas, 119, like how the election was called from the first time around on November 9th. This time around, he joins office with the 119th Congress. Don't forget the tarot cards equals 119 and the top cards in the deck are Trump cards, and there's 78 cards in the deck like he returned to age 78. But yeah, I got to leave it there for now, you guys. Lots of good information, lots of generosity. I appreciate all the generosity on this stream. I don't know if I said thank you to all the super chatters. I need to. Nima said, Zach, we appreciate everything you do for humanity. He says, I have the courage of a lion. Thank you. We're almost a Leo. Appreciate it, Nima. Dale again with the big 5. Thank you once again, Dale. You're too generous. I can't see your full name, but it's Jehovah's and then it's cut off. When are Gematria Effect news stickers coming out? I think is what you're asking me. Stamping, what is 47? What is 201? Or the 47 list stickers on high traffic zones on random walls? Sounds like a good pastime. Yeah. We made QR codes years back to direct to the website. And do you guys remember what happened? The QR company deactivated the code, so it didn't work anymore. So just a heads up for anybody who makes a QR code for that happened. That might have been 3 or 4 years ago, and it happened during the time of Cooties 19 when we were going against the mainstream agenda. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it. But if you ever do a QR code and mass print it on something, that's something that can happen. Buyer beware. Thank you, Van Deer, for the Big 10. Appreciate that. Riddle says, have you ever hit a home run? In my baseball playing days, I never hit a home run. In my softball playing days, I hit plenty of home runs. Gematria Sense says 7-3 on 73rd day of Alaska governor's age. Born on 5-5. I'm going to look more into so often these final numbers by the USGS are encoded, but off the top, I don't know what it would be for Alaska, so I just caught wind of this. I'll look more into that. Alaska, part of the Ring of Fire. So, think more about it. Alaska, the 49th state. Revelation, the 73rd book of Catholic Bibles. Alaska... Again, Revelation equals 49. Alaska's the 49th state. Again, could there be something there with that? I'll investigate. I'll investigate. All right, you guys. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Right now, it says got only 130 people watching. Bummer. Not very good, but we got 215 likes. Thank you to everyone who hit the like who wasn't here. If you can hit the like on the way out, if you can drop a comment after the stream's over in the comment section, all those things, I think they really do help the video reach more people. Thank you to everyone who takes the time. And until next time, True Seeker.